Thank you for joining me again. This is episode 4 of the Life in Knit podcast. My name is Rachel. I'm coming to you from Cochrane, Alberta. My Instagram is @_lifeinknit, and my Ravelry is Rachel1137. I'm gonna see at some point if I can switch that over, but not yet. Thanks for joining me again. It is September 11th today. It's Wednesday, September 11th. I'm coming to you just before I head over to work at Polka Dot Creek today. I am today wearing my Plumule Cardigan by Celine Phaeton. I test knit this in 2022, so it's been out for a while. It has the best pockets on a knitted cardigan ever, so it's a really nice and cozy one to wear for work. I'm wanting to make another one of these at some point. It's a super comfy cardigan, so definitely if it's something you're on the hunt for, it's a really good one for that. This is knit in the Wood Lily DK by Fireweed Fiber Co. As is their tweed base. You can see the nice tweedy bits on there. And the color is Red Breasted Grosbeak from one of the previous clubs that she had a few years back. As soon as it came in the mail, I ordered a sweater color David pretty much right away. If you couldn't tell from what's going on, red and gray are kind of my colors. So as soon as I saw the red in it, it was an easy go-to. What I'm working on. So I do have a finish this week, so no one has to kill me, which is great. I finished the Birch sweater by Andrea Mowry. It's a sample knit for Marissa at Fantasy Fibers. Still haven't woven in the ends. Sorry, woven the ends. I didn't trim them. I'm really bad at apparently pulling things off the mats right before I podcast. So this is the Birch sweater, Andrea Mowry, all over half fisherman's rib, which just blocks out so nicely. This is her Morley Gray fingering, so moon dancing. She does still have a little bit in her shop as well as an oops from it, which is just slightly less contrasty, which is really, really pretty too. Birch sweater. It's so pretty. I definitely would recommend doing it, but I would also recommend having something else on your needles at the same time, because it is a bit of a slog. 100% worth it in the long run. It's going to be so pretty, and it's so stretchy, which is really nice too. So it's a lot more forgiving for if you're the type of person who varies a lot in your weight too, which is really nice. So I knit the size 2. There's 9 sizes in that one, from 35.5 to 66.25 inches. And yeah, like I said, it gives a lot of give with that fisherman's rib, which is really nice. Just gives you a little bit more of a size range in that one too. And just makes it a little bit cozier. And yeah, like I said, it shows off yarn beautifully. Even for those variegateds, it can be pretty tricky in a lot of patterns. It worked out really, really well in the overall fisherman's rib. I started that one on January 13th and finished it on September 8th. So that was, like I said, quite a bit of a longer project, but it's done. I'm going to bring it to her probably tomorrow on my way to work, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, that one's done. Whips. A lot of similar ones from last week, but I did finally cast. I finished the sweater for the Bryce loungewear set from Dragon Horde Designs. I did the sweater a while ago, and now I am on the shorts. That's against the sample for Marissa of Fantasy Fibers. All I've really done so far is the waistband, but I got the waistband and the I-cord drawstring for the shorts. It's already in there and everything. And working my way down the shorts now. I used, to make my life a million times easier, the little cordsmith tool from Purple Gecko Studio. It's kind of like knitting machine vibes, but only a couple hooks. So you can see them really well there. So it's got 3 hooks and acts kind of like a knitting machine. So it goes a lot faster than your traditional I-cord. So you can do an I-cord without wanting to rip your hair out. Yeah, it's a little it'll give you a 3-stitch I-cord. I use it for the bind off on my crescendo shawl, and then I use it to just make the traditional I-cord for the shorts. Goes so much faster. So much faster. Normally it would probably take me about a week and a half to do because I hate I-cord with passion and I get very bored with it very quickly. But I got the whole drawstring done in about half an hour with this one. Takes a while to get the hang of, but once you get the hang of, it's so much faster. Again, I got that one from Purple Gecko Studio, who's a local maker, from Lillian Pine's booth at Net City, Calgary. I'll see if I can link it down below, if I can find her site somewhere. So the Bryce shorts, again, sample from Marissa Fantasy Fibers, so doing a smaller size than I normally would. This is in her Morally Grey Decay, so it is a yak merino and silk blend, and it's Envy, and then Sleeping Death is the contrast. It's so soft. If you haven't tried a yak base yet, do it. Marissa's got some really good colors. She also still has 2 skeins, I think, of the smudge stick on her DK yak. If you like the grayish green that I'm doing my socks in, you'll love this one. These look so good together. So there's 11 sizes for the shorts, all measured based on the natural waist, so a little bit higher up rather than lower, just to make things a little bit better for our measurement. So 11 sizes from 27 inches to 64.25 inches, with recommended -1 inch to 2 inches of ease. And yeah, it's currently in testing, and hopefully have it done by the end of the month. So I think it's coming out October something. We don't have an actual release date yet, but it's usually a pretty quick turnaround from the end of the testing period for her. So, because she gets everything tech edited before we get the patterns, which is very helpful. So I'm using the Love is Love stitch markers, stitch stoppers from Fantasy Fibers. There's Oakley. And I use ChowGoo for everything. So I got the ChowGoo red lace needles, and then this is in a bag from Mrs. Brown's Bags. And I've had this one for ever and ever. They're a nice sturdy canvas, which is really great. I tend to throw my bags around a lot, so I like ones that are a little bit more able to keep up to everyday life, because I will drag them around absolutely everywhere. The other fun one is that the pattern has been released for these socks test knit. So last week I said it was a secret test, and it no longer has to be secret. So this is the Haunted Forest socks that I'm testing for Alindria Knits, and the colors on this one, I'm using Smudge Stick on Enemies to Lovers by Marissa Fantasy Fibers. It's just her sock base, 8515. It's lovely, like a grayish green. And then Peace by West Coast Yarns on her Victoria sock base. And the socks, they're so cool. Little gremlins. There's a tree in the middle. I chose to bead mine because I don't like duplicate stitching, which is the other option. So you can do duplicate stitching for the moon and the little guy's eyes, but I chose to do beads instead, and I will continue them down the foot as well. It's a really, really fun pattern coming out in a couple weeks now. I think the single sock is due next week. I'm using Ladderback Jacquard for mine, for floats, which is super fun. I'll put it inside out because everyone likes to see the floats. And it just looks so cool. And really helps for things being able to stretch, which is really nice with color work. And you can kind of see the little guys are going to go all along the bottom of the foot as well. So all of our colorwork socks, it goes down the front and the back, the full pattern on the leg as well. So it's doubled on the top and then just all the way down the front of the foot with the separate pattern down the back on the foot of the sock. Yeah, I'm working my way down the gusset decreases right now and then into the foot of the sock. It's a really fun pattern, and Definitely not good for like your first color work project, but if you're comfortable with color work, it's not super difficult and it's a lot of fun. Otherwise, got a little bit more progress on my Scrappy Socks. Brought them with me to the movie last night. So I got almost all the work that I've done on them in the last week done in the movies. So again, this is from Rose Hill Yarns. It's her Merry and Bright colorway. I just do the basic 64 stitches. I think I did 10 rounds of ribbing, 5 rounds of stockinette before starting heel flap and gusset. And it's just vanilla for the leg. Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's a really nice traditional Christmassy colorway. No, she brings it back almost every year because I got this I think 2 years ago and she brought it back last year as well. But all the Christmas colorways should be coming out pretty quick here because we're finally into fall. It actually feels like fall here in Calgary right now. Yesterday was like the first good fall day in a while. I think it was like 10 degrees and rain for half the day, and I loved it. I'm not a summer person. I definitely like more of the fall. Fall is absolutely my favorite season, so it's really nice to feel a little bit more comfortable in my own skin again. I say I have reverse seasonal depression. I get depressed in the summertime, and fall is when I'm happier. And the Forest Spirit Shawl by Leslie Ann Robinson. I don't even know if I did a little bit on it last week, mostly just at work. So this has been mostly my at work project. I did mess up on my brioche last week, so I am still in the middle of fixing that because it's the best thing to do at work, right? When you're working with other people. The Forest Spirit Shawl by Knit Graffiti or Leslie Ann Robinson. This is a sample for Polka Dot Creek. So using Away We Ride, which is one of the Halloween colorways, and charcoal, both on the classic sock base. It's growing now into the 2 of the brioche stitches there. That is where I messed up because I started talking and got distracted by a puppy and wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So I have mostly fixed it. I have, I think, 3 more stitches that I have to fix there. I just ladder down my brioche to fix it. It does take some time and concentration to do so, but I would prefer that than ripping back my work because half an hour of fixing things is better than 3 hours of reknitting it. And it's not that hard once you are comfortable with what you're doing. Knit Graffiti also has a really great video on how to do that, which is great. If you're part of her Patreon, I think she's got a really big brioche class that is free once you join. But she also has some YouTube videos and things like that for tutorials as well, and runs some really cool in-person classes if you are in the States. Yeah, so Forest Spirit Shawl, slowly but surely coming along. All the skeins are getting a little squishier now, which is always good because that means the progress is coming along. So that is Away We Ride. And charcoal. Yeah, which is a really nice dark gray. Yeah, Halloween everything is always fun. And again, the progress keepers and stitch markers on this one are from Tracy of Sassy Strings. She does some really pretty progress creepers and stitch markers. And it's always nice to be able to support your friends. The bag is still in my sweary bag from Shannon, who's a local maker. She does really nice sweary bags. She said this is one of her favorite fabrics, and I don't blame her. It's beautiful. This one's like the doctor style bag, so it can stay open as well because it's got the wire frame on it, so it's really nice for knitting in public, which was my problem in the first place. The only things coming, I am doing a test for Knit Graffiti of her spider webby hat, so I've got to pick out some yarn for that one. I'm thinking one of the sock sets that I've got because, as I showed you at the end of the last podcast, I have a lot of them. and I think it'd be super cool. So we'll see which one I decide to do. I think it might be really fun in the Poison Apple one from that Marissa did last year. I think she still has some of this in her shop too. So it's the Sleeping Death that's the contrast color of the shorts and sweater they did, and then Poison Apple, and this is Evil Queen as the purple on that as well. Yeah, that is the biggest thing I've got planned, and then I will swatch pretty quick here for my Lace and Fade boxy. I was just trying to get a little further on some other things before I started, and probably went down the rabbit hole on something new. Because when I have a new project, it's all I want to work on, and I will go a little bit obsessive about it. So if you get some work done on the things that have deadlines, and then start the fun stuff. Not that it's not all fun, but if I'm doing a test knit for someone or doing a sample, I try to make sure that I get it done in a reasonable amount of time so that they get their things at a decent rate. I will also be swatching for the Diaphanous Raglan as the test for Candace of Mary Margaret Fibers. And because the yarn is right here, and it's still so pretty. So again, that one's on the Take Me Home Tonight, and the fingering and the Surrey for that one. So I'll be swatching for that one pretty quick here as well, because the pinks are just so cool. I can't wait to work on it. Yeah, those are the big projects that I have planned. Purchases. So I was a bit better this week. I didn't buy any yarn, so go me. There's 1 week at least without any yarn brought into this house. Kind of. I did get something delivered, but that was ordered a while ago, so that's not my fault. But I did get a couple little notions from Fantasy Fibers. She just brought in some really fun Halloweeny notions, and I had to. So I got these cute little pumpkin scissors, and these are the best scissors. I use them when I'm at her place because she's got a few pairs that she uses, and they're super sharp and super easy to use, which is great. Yeah, they keep the sharps so well. Yeah, the little pumpkins are so cute. And little Nightmare Before Christmas stitch markers. She's got a lot of really cool Night Before Christmas stuff in her shop right now that she just brought in with the new update. She tends to have a lot of them. She's also got some really nice fall candles from Shawl candles. I love her candles. They last forever, and the scent is strong without being overpowering. So it's still really good in a smaller space or in a bigger space. We like them in our living room, and it helps even cover the smell of dog, which is very helpful. And then I also picked up my Halloween box from her. Oh, she's doing Halloween Town Advent this year. So I got the Halloween Town box. Ordered this back in April, but she does have a couple of extras hitting the shop this weekend. Grab it. I've seen the colors. I helped one the colors. They're gorgeous. There's also a really cool mug and some notions in the box. A little Halloween Town. It's so pretty. I cannot wait. I'm very excited for the box. She does some really cool ones, and it's a 13-day Halloween Advent, so it's not an overwhelming amount of minis, but it's still enough that you can do something really cool with. So I grabbed a couple skeins of Gandalf last year, which is a nice medium gray, and did a really nice giant brioche shawl with that, which is in my car. It just lives in my car. A nice big shawl is really helpful to have with you at all times. But I'll try to put some pictures in at the end because it's really cool. I'll put some pictures of this as well so you can actually see it. Like I said, when I'm here, it's really difficult to actually be able to show off many things because it's the best background, but I can't really back up to show anything off. So, kind of work with what we've got. I went and saw Beetlejuice last night. If you haven't gone, definitely go see it. It's so good. If you're a fan of the classic, you're gonna love this one too. They're both great, and they did a lot of really great nods to the first one and didn't change too much and go too crazy on the CGI, which is perfect in my opinion. So thank gosh, because if they had ruined that one, I would have been very, very sad. But Jen Ortega is a really good daughter for Winona Ryder, so seeing those two together was absolutely cool. She's one of my favorite actresses now, Again, not surprising, I love all the Halloween stuff, so Wednesday was really cool when it came out, and the second season of that is coming out soon, so there will be a rewatch coming. But that's about all that's been going on in my life, so this might be a bit of a shorter one today. Yeah, I'm sitting right in front of my sweater quantity shelf, so I can probably show you something from there. See if I can find something that's not a one of a kind, because showing you things that are one of a kind is just mean, because you can't have them. I'll edit that out, because I hate all the crinkling, and I assume that everybody else does too. I brought out a couple things. Shocker, one of them's from Marissa. I do have a lot of her yarn, because it's also good and very much my colors. Speaking of my colors, Emperor, so I got a sweater quantity of this last year when she did her Cabin Club. Emperor was one of the solids that she did. It's just some really nice tonals there. Stay really consistent from dial to dial. So I've even found when I get her club and then purchase more, they're still really close, which is fantastic. Wouldn't normally recommend doing separate dye lots from any dyer for hand dyed, because things can change from day to day, just because I swear you look at yarn and it changes properties. But because it is hand dyed and everything is done by hand, the variation can be a lot. So definitely make sure you're alternating skeins whenever possible. But she's really consistent from batch to batch, which is very, very impressive. Other one, I got this as a birthday present from my husband a couple years back. It's the Black Tulip Fade set from Fireweed Fiber Co. She did do this originally for me, but now it is available for sale as well. I think it usually just has one less color because this like black at the end is not part of it. We'll go from like burgundies through to purples to blacks. So good. So trying to decide if that one, if I'm gonna do a shawl or a sweater. Isn't my sweater stuff for now, but my sweater quantities are also more of like my big numbers I've pulled from there for a few different things. The crescendo shawl I did is technically a sweater quantity, but I used it for the big shawl because a lot of the big shawls use just as much as a sweater for a lot of things. Yeah, I figured if I've got some time, because I don't have a lot going on knitting wise this week, nothing too crazy and different, so I thought I'd bring those up. Yeah. That is about it for me this week. Nothing too crazy going on in my life. But thank you very much for spending this time with me. I really, really appreciate everyone who takes the time to watch. It's been really fun so far doing this and sharing what I'm working on with you. So yeah, thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful week, and it is fall-like where you are as well, just to give you the chance to sit and make something. Thank you. I'll see you again next week.